Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review where me and my homegirl Erin are going to let you know about the What's Going Down episode of The Rich Heifers of Beverly Hills. Yes, season 15, episode 6, y'all. Please help me welcome Erin to the stage.
Hello everybody, thank you for having me.
Of course. I enjoyed this episode, controversial as it is. How about you?
It was a good episode. I'll just say up front, there is something I feel I was triggered, not just in a way I was moved by it. So I feel, and then really disgusted by the response. So I definitely have a very strong, like little emotional, not emotional, because whatever, but I have a very strong opinion based on what it provoked in me in this episode. So,
You feel away.
I do. Perfect way to put it. I feel away. Ray, all day. I feel away.
I got you. We here with the two fingers in the eye.
Yes. No, that was perfect. Because, I do. I needed something to express. I feel away. But anyway.
and when I saw it for the second time, went over a few scenes, I really needed to hear what was being said, all around. There wasn't much said in certain scenes, but just for my clarity, I wanted to hone in on the feeling of the moment if I could. I wasn't there, but as we're looking as if it was happening before our very own eyes, I understood. Now, I haven't really been on social media like that this last maybe 36 hours because I'm doing other things. But the chatter you're hearing, is it specific to Amanda and Dorit or something else?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's really just that one moment of when she said, we can talk about this later, but I'm curious, and continued. And it was just that moment right there.
Okay.
And, we'll save it. I mean, I know we'll save it.
I was going to say, we'll get to it. So,
yeah.
And when I say this, if ever it is too much, yell out something, because you do feel away. I want to be sure that you and your feelings are protected. If just let me know. Just, hey, hold on, girl. Whatever it is, taking that into account. Even when I got ready for this show, thinking about that, put me in a different tone. Honestly, I said, because I've been really thinking about that. And outside of whatever is happening in these social media streets, maybe I feel away, but maybe not the same, but it just put me in a different tone, if you will, so.
Thank you very much. Like, I appreciate that. That is we got each other. I think I'll be all right.
Okay.
I watched Bose on Watch What Happens Live because this was so when we get to the time, I'll kind of add she had a real marketing diplomatic answer. But it was very interesting she wasn't there, right? Of all the nights to not be there, because of her kind of unique position. So I have that to add
Oh,
when we get
okay.
there.
So do you want to say it before we start that section, or just let me know?
You let me know. This is your show, baby. When you want me to bring in that element, she was asked directly what she thought about the Dorit and Amanda situation, and she answered it.
Okay, so we'll chime in after. Okay, I'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Well, let's get started, y'all. Cause hey, if y'all know more than I do, cause like I said,
Well,
Ray been busy.
right. Well, that's not the only thing that happened on this episode, which is why it was good, because Jennifer Tilly and Sutton be talking to each other, and we have things to discuss.
And isn't it how ironic now Kyle wants just to divulge other people's stuff and folks stuff, but she's still a little prissy about hers? It's like, girl, really? Okay, so you want to spill her tea? Okay, but she's kind of always been like that. She's always been more protective of her own.
Well, I do agree about that. The Hilton sisters absolutely protect their own stuff. I think it was Alex said that Kyle's the bone carrier this season, and it looks like it.
Shout out to Alexander Diane Rogers out there in the Philly, keeping warm and
Yep.
cooking.
Yep. Yes. So.
And Bronx. Woof woof. Yeah.
Yes. Baby dog. Yeah. No. I enjoyed his review of this episode too. But anyway,
I gotta watch that. Yeah, I'm gonna watch
yes,
it.
yes, I think you'll enjoy. Well, we always do, but you know what I mean.
Okay, for sure. Okay, so let's just jump right in there, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So we start off with Rachel. There's a few little somethings before, but it wasn't no big doggone deal, y'all. I didn't even think about it. Unless you want to say something about it, child.
No, we can jump right in. It's good.
Rachel and Bose.
Yes.
They meet up for some shopping. They're at a consignment shop, gently used luxury brands. I forgot the name of the shop.
Me too.
Well, I feel you, Rachel. I feel you, girl. Ooh, I may need to rewind that tape and see what's the address, child, because I may need to go over there. No, baby, you know what I saw? They kept showing the LV looking really nice, but that leather fiber is a little too steep.
Yeah.
For my taste, that was a Chanel something. And it sounded like she's gifted that store a lot of her goods. Is that how I understood it to mean when the guy was like, "Oh, hey Rachel, this is like your store," or something like that.
I'm not. She does have a giant vintage collection. Like Psycho, she loves to collect. So it wouldn't surprise me if she has given, you know what I mean, used them as a supplier and as a buyer. But I didn't pick that up. That was maybe me not paying enough attention.
Yeah, because y'all listen, everything ain't got to be brand new. I'm just saying, as long as it's
absolutely
in a certain excellent, pristine condition, no flaws, no visible flaws, or if there is one, it's so minute. Maybe you could have done it during your ownership, something that won't flaw the bag enough for you to say no. Because hey, as long as it ain't fake. What's her name? Jen Shaw.
Girl. Oh Lord, yeah. Well, there's also certain designer brands that they have collectible eras. They have more collectible decades. If you want a certain, Rachel is deep enough in fashion as a professional that she's literally collecting. I want 1972 Valentino, blah blah blah. They're literally. So she's got that combination, right, of what you're talking about of vintage collectibles versus I wore this for a season and it didn't love it or never wore it. Here's the tag still on it. So but this is where I do enjoy Rachel. I do enjoy, like I said, I watched her first reality show, her love of fashion and her knowledge about it and all of that. She's legit.
I unfortunately didn't get a chance to watch her when she came out, but I knew who she was. I said, okay. I wasn't into anything like that anyway, no matter who it was. But I can appreciate if, in fact, she is the same girl she was then. I probably would have enjoyed it because she seems like she's not pretentious or so snooty that we couldn't even have a conversation, you know?
No, she's an interesting mix of high and low. She's got a real kind of dry sense of humor and like,
Mhm.
very kind of, and then has her little sayings like I cannot or whatever. Obviously eccentric, obviously like struggling with I mean, it's painful the less clothes she has on. It makes me uncomfortable, and I don't mean to be overly judgmental, but it's hard when you're looking at somebody that you're not sure as well.
Okay, one of those. Well, it is Beverly Hills, child, and
Mm.
sometimes it could be just the way love goes up there.
Yeah, she's kind of
Mhm.
had that rumor for years. I feel really bad because, like, in her comment section, whenever she's showing too much, people are just going nuts. But whatever. Shout out to you, Rachel. I do think her and Bose had a cute, fun energy. When Bose walked in, it was like
Yeah,
fun. Yeah, I enjoy their friendship.
definitely. I love how Rachel just seems down to earth, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
especially in her confessionals. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I think we kind of think alike a little bit.
Yeah.
She's more, like I said, she's not so pretentious or, you know, uh, all about the wealth of it. Just listen, it is what it is, child. So,
Yeah,
and I
no,
think Bose sees that in her too. Bose seems to have a good judge of character in people.
when she rolled her eyes at Amanda for asking if that was ceremonial grade matcha, I was like, yes, this is the down to earth side of her that I love for
I
sure.
thought that too when I was
Yeah, that
out
was
there
so
in
funny.
Sedona. Like, girl, get the damn
Like,
coffee or
yeah, and
don't get
shut
the
up.
coffee.
Yeah.
The fuck? I mean, yeah,
Yeah. I
all
mean,
this extra, girl.
not all the time. Like court sense.
You know. So, where are my notes, child? I took my glasses off. Okay. Um, so speaking of Rachel's and Bose's point of view on the ladies, so Rachel kind of notices and she mentions how systematic Amanda is and kind of problematic to her because it's like, girl, live in the moment and it's just it always has to be a systematic approach to things. And I don't think Rachel finds that to be authentic. And both kind of agreed.
Rachel is a really odd duck. Not Rachel. Amanda.
Amanda. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, and no matter what happens later on in the episode, I'll stand by that. I haven't quite figured it out yet. Um, I really can't stand the one-upmanship though. That's ridiculous to me. That's like so beyond nouveau riz. It's like some kind of weird, like, why are you needing to do that to people? Like, what is it about? What's going on behind that? Because it's not just like I'm bragging about my money. It's this weird, like, it's almost like an unhealthy insecurity adaptation or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what are you doing? It's like all the
Mm-hmm.
time. I can't stand that kind of crap. I would have called it out by now, I think, and I would have genuinely yelled at her to get off her phone in the car. There's no way I would have tolerated it for that long. I couldn't have. I can't. There's no way. I would have been like, "I'm sorry, we're filming. You need to get off your phone." And when you have it on speaker at times and stuff. No. Mm-mm. I whatever, you know how they say like perimenopause, your sensories can go to hell. Like that
Mm-hmm.
would just be an unnecessary noise that I would not want. Um, so I agree with them. But, like I said, um, I still was very impressed by how composed she was during a weird confrontation. So like you know, I always try to look at people for more than just caricatures of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I understand what they're talking about. She certainly comes off like a real, yeah. And I also agree too, like there was another tell about her personality with the way she couldn't handle just letting it free flow. Like just hang out. Like why do you have to have like what you know, again, what's motivating you to feel so uncomfortable by the fact that you don't have control over what other people are doing
I
or
think
already know what's going on?
I think I may have a clue about that. And from Walmart to Beverly Hills,
Yeah.
it's that, age old what is it, behavior or mindset that money is always on her mind. She's probably afraid of losing it or going back to that, as why she mentioned that she makes what in a month that her fiance makes in a year. Who says that? Number one, just, but it's something she volunteered to say. I mean, is she afraid someone's going to say it? So someone's going to report on it? Or what? What
Yeah,
was the
no.
point? It's in my opinion, I think money is always on her mind, especially since she has this money this money thing attached to her name. So she just wants to, you know, uh gorge herself with it and just surround herself in it and just be all about it because she didn't have it before. That's how I see it, but I could be wrong. I ain't got no license, y'all. I ain't got no license.
Well, they said, in a few upcoming thing that she was also in a cult. Like, so I'm just in upcoming, for next episode, I'm just curious, like, what's going on in there, like, other than the Walmart, like, it seems like based on what they brought up about the book she wrote that, there's a few different contributing factors. But I
Another
definitely,
oh Lord Jesus.
yeah, well, I definitely agree with you. Yeah, I know, not another one. It's like housewives and cults.
Girl, they sure know how to pick them, don't they?
I guess that's
Mm,
where the delusion comes from, right? But
mm.
I yeah, I mean, I just think that was really disloyal to her fiance to do that with these women on TV, any of that crap, because he certainly seems like, you know, in they're talking with one another and whatever, like a little bit more emotionally in touch with his feelings than a lot of dudes. So I don't know,
Mhm.
like, girl, don't throw your man under the bus like that. Shoot, that's very emasculating.
Oh, did you see how Bo said that Amanda dropped the T to gain points, not to be sympathetic, but it backfires? Like, ooh. I
Right.
don't
Oh,
know, but
about
I wasn't there. I don't know, but I wasn't
the
there.
Sutton thing.
Right. When Amanda dropped the T on, Ivy and Sutton and all that stuff.
Well, I saw a clip of an interview with Avi, a former Miami housewife, got a podcast with some guy, and they had Avi on, and
Mm.
Avi was tight-lipped about anything to do with Sutton. He didn't respond at all. He talked about the fact that he was going to be in a drag show that was like
Mm.
a parody of Housewives with
Mm.
salmonella. Um, and uh, he was alluding to, which would not surprise anyone, an NDA. Or they were alluding to, we can't wait until
I
that
heard
NDA is up.
that. Yeah,
So
I heard that.
so I have a very hard time believing that, just like even Sutton said, I don't even think it went down that way. I don't either. I think because Sutton damn well knows he signed an NDA and it's probably pretty tight. And I don't think Avi was offering up willy nilly crap like that anyway, because most assistants and most people that are working with celebrities or entertainers of any kind have to sign an NDA. It's pretty standard in that
Mhm.
industry. So I do really question where the hell that came from and how valid it was.
Well, Well, they also talked about Bose's egg retrieval coming up, and her and Keely are going to Vegas, where uh, her I guess egg retrieval doctor, whoever that.
Right.
I don't know what department. I don't know which. Anywho, where
Fertility specialist.
yeah, thank
Maybe
you.
there we go. Yeah. I wouldn't know
Thank
what to
you.
call it either. Yeah.
Because luckily she gets to have ultrasounds in her bedroom. Like, I don't know if I would have it in my bed.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere else. There's, but not the main bedroom. I don't know. That's just me. I would want to have all that. But maybe, hey, however she wanted, of course. But I just don't know if I want all that equipment in my room, child. I just want to. Anyway, I just thought it was just so sterile. Like, I don't know, maybe because I'm used to. Anyway, she had an ultrasound, and there's some hope from previous. So we're gonna see how it progresses in this episode.
Another piece of tea that I saw on the Juicy Scoop group, somebody
Mm.
posted that it looks like the fertility center clinic that Bose was going to has been immediately shut down for $165,000 in back rent. So I don't know what that means for Bose and her fertility journey because of like accessibility. I'm not saying it was her particular doctor. It might have just been the building. It might have been a group, that may have been a doctor practicing there. I don't know if that was the owner. I don't really know any of the specifics other than there
Damn.
was a, like emergency eviction, temporary shutdown for failure, like back rent.
Make it about Kenya Moore. Dang, Kenya.
Oh.
Girl, she had to pay all that money back. Now she's on a payment plan. Jesus.
Yep.
Oh. All she had to do was play the victim. That's all she had to do, Aaron.
I
That's
know.
all
She
she had
messed
to
that
do.
one all up and down.
Girl, what?
Yeah.
Payday loan commercials? A maximum of $400. 400. Now I really shouldn't judge, but girl. Oh. Back to the rich heifers, because that show ain't rich over there. It ain't over there. Well, I hope this doesn't compromise the integrity of them eggs and carrying on.
I know, right?
I hope
Totally.
they can get going and get what they need to get, and and not have to suffer any consequence.
Well,
that would just be disastrous if they couldn't get the stuff and they had girl.
Truly, yeah.
Oh
well,
God.
Yeah. Bose was not. I want to be careful how I say this. It did not appear that Bose had been, is carrying at this point on Watch What Happens Live, as we know that to be a live show. So there's no indicator where and her answer about that was pretty vague too. So
okay. I like vague.
She's the queen of like, I'll say some, but not, not or whatever. Well, and
vague.
I'm sure that they're trying to keep some parts for the show or whatever. It's also an oddly personal thing, like, and a lot of just maybe she didn't want to talk about, whatever. But yeah.
That's why I like vague. Like, you never know. This is not a no. So that's good for the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But good for them, her and Keely.
Yeah. Well, like we said before, I respectfully don't know if maybe there's a surrogate. We don't know what their plans are. They haven't revealed where they're at yet. All we know is that there was hope that they could get some healthy embryo, that they could get some egg retrieval to hope. Because this is another thing I've learned. Just because you get eggs doesn't mean you get to embryo. And then once you get to embryo doesn't mean that it's a healthy embryo. So we got to get to viable. And then also, is it progressing embryo? So
the viability of all of this that they're doing through science versus the natural way, there's always more complications because they're duplicating what comes natural. Just like medication, they get it from herbs, so they duplicate what the herbs do. But again, the side effects, i.e. for this thing right here, the percentage of. So that's how it's all relative to the mechanics of it all. It's so remarkable that they have all this going on anyway, like, wow, you can have a baby in a damn petri dish. Like, good grief. It's just so remarkable. They can just insert it and, because I've always heard sperms don't make it out, they pass away. It's no, but girl, they hold on. It's amazing. And the cryo of it all, like, wow, that's amazing. Good, big up to them. Now, this next part was a little, this let me know what type of situation they have as far as Amanda and her fiance, y'all. So Amanda's giving her fiance the lowdown on the girls' trip. And the fiance says, well, he reminds her that she will cuss, and he said she will cuss a bitch out within a few missed steps. So meaning, okay, somebody may have 1 or 2 chances, but on maybe that second chance, a bitch will get cussed out. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, okay. He ain't with no foolishness about his woman. And he's, to me, it's like he let the cat out the bag about her, because this sends a different message as to not exactly, but to the type of woman that she is, and how she handles conflict.
Another layer.
Interesting.
That we haven't seen. Yeah.
Because she's just been so mild-mannered and, talking like this similarly.
I do have to imagine. I do have to say, and I didn't say this during the Sedona episode, she's annoying. I'm not going to take that away, people. But when she looked at Sutton and said, "Do you cry often?" took me out, because that was hilarious to me, and like a whole new flavor of shade. So I have to give her that, like the way she was super calm and just was like, "Do you cry a lot or often?" or whatever she said. I was like, "Oh, that was like a paper cut."
It was a little annoying. I get it, Sutton. Like, it was like a dig.
I thought, but you know what though, like with Crybaby Sutton and all that was going on, I thought it was, I was clapping. I had to hand it to Amanda. I thought that was pretty good.
Well, the show put Sutton in a worse off position with her. He's like, oh, okay. I see you, Heifer. You trying to mess with me, okay?
Well, and Sutton does appear, from what I've observed, her, multiple seasons in now, that she is very emotional, and that she has a hard time allowing other people, like when she's like that, she is tough to deal with. And she doesn't do as well, like with people that are on the, like her, but like when she has to be the bigger person. Like, I'll never forget how gross she was when Dorit got robbed. Like that whole, well, I have a supplier, stuck, and I'm like, Sutton. Like even Kyle was like, what the F? So, I don't know. Sutton's emotional fragility, I can see how it's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. Then the last part of their conversation, they were speaking about their deceased son. He's a twin, and something went wrong in utero. She delivered early, and one twin made it. The other passed away at 5 days, and it's the anniversary of the death that they're discussing. And I don't know if I could have been filming holding my deceased baby. It just seemed a little eerie to me when they showed that. I'm like, oh my. So I know that they want to have keepsakes and everything for themselves. It's just, I don't know if I would have showed it on TV. It just seems so personal.
Yes, I felt the same way. I was mildly uncomfortable. Chrissy Teigen had some real brutal photos that I was a little bit like, what the, like, oh yeah, when she lost her and John Legend lost their son Jack, it looked like they had a photographer like in the room with them, like a professional. It was
Oh,
like,
like Amanda.
yeah, and yes. And
Wow.
I was really uncomfortable seeing them as well, because I just feel like it is such a private moment that I don't know if I really even want to see it, you know?
You know?
And I don't really think any of the way that we feel about it is any of their business, you know? Um, at the same time though, like you said, maybe they want to have a really precious, maybe to them it's a little bit different. It's more like documenting every moment they can have with him, or
Mhm.
I don't know, far be it for me to be judgmental here, but I will say my gut reaction was, ooh, this is a little too intimate of a situation. I was moved, and now I'm like on the floor sad, because that's just so sad. Regardless of who you are as a person, I don't think there's any deeper loss for a mother than a child, you know? And
Yeah.
that is such a sad, my heart goes out to them. I can't even imagine. She said the poor baby struggled in the utero with this placenta, and it's just a really, really, really devastating situation. I cannot imagine. And intense, and
Mhm.
I did think it was very sweet that the fiance feels him in certain moments.
Yeah.
Talking about, and I felt like he was there, when he was putting the kids to bed. And I thought that was, because I think men sometimes don't metabolize grief or maybe express it, in that way. So always, so I thought that was refreshing, but just a real yeah. I know it's a real weird one, because exploitive is a word you don't want to use, but at the same time, that's where the edge of discomfort is. So yeah.
Yeah, I just never thought I would see that moment. I mean,
Yeah.
listening to it is one thing, but visualizing exactly what it looks like, it's a whole nother situation or a whole nother um, emotion,
Yes.
because now it's in my brain,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Very, very sad.
Yeah, it is. Well, let's move on to something a little more exciting. Dorit. Child, Dorit about to be an author, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Just gonna have a memoir come out. MEMOIR. A memoir.
Why not? I can't blame her. You need money. This is money. Go
That's what
sell
she
your,
said.
yeah, go
Okay.
ahead, do it.
She's like, listen, I need to, and we was just saying this. It's like, Dorit, you need a job, girl. You need
Mm-hmm.
some income besides RHOBH, girl. And I was hoping she would get back to her fashion stuff. But the more I heard this conversation where she spoke about, and they showed film of PK coming up with Beverly Beach, the idea, I can see why it's no longer, it's canned, because it was his, it was a part of his portfolio, right?
She got in a lawsuit with the original business partners of
Mhm,
of the swimwear line, and they had to
mhm.
settle, and she basically lost it because of all of that. So, I think again, I don't know how great business PK's business management was,
Yeah.
but I agree with
Well,
you, but as far as that part goes, I do. But I think I don't know how much business sense Dorit has. I don't know.
she don't know what her name is on in the marriage. I wouldn't think her business acumen was any better.
True.
And
Yeah.
I say that just as it sounds, girl.
Mhm.
Pay attention to what your girl. Anywho, we ain't gonna go on. But yeah, it sounds like a promising um, venture for her. I
Mhm.
hope that it all works out for her. A couple of her castmates are best. What they call them? Best.
New York Times bestsellers.
Thank you. Shoot, New York Times bestseller, as Aaron has mentioned. So perhaps, she'll be a third within this franchise. I don't think anybody else has. Did
One
anybody?
of the one of the interesting things about being a New York Times bestseller, getting on the list, is how
Mhm.
much pre-sale you can do. And so one of the things
Okay.
that, yes, so one of the things that celebrities have over a lot of other people is that they can go around and do press tours and they can hype the hell up out of the book in order to get them landed on the New York Times bestseller list. So there's a bit of a strategy and also a bit of a privilege when you already are a public facing figure with how the whole
Mhm.
weird the status of all of that works,
Yeah.
which is not to rob anybody of the prestige. You know, I'm an author,
Mhm.
I'm an aspiring author myself, so once you know, my book is published, I'll be over the moon to be a New York Times bestseller. Um so it's the reason I ramble on is my point is it could happen if maybe Dorit really like sells this book well. The thing is though is
Mhm.
that, you know, I also think I don't know, you know, I don't know how many people are running to read Dorit's book.
I mean, it may not be a bestseller, but she probably can get a cute little coin from it,
Absolutely. Oh,
and not just from any signing bonus, but I'm sure it'll sell enough for her to have a little something, something.
she could do a book tour. There's like all kinds of stuff that she could do. I think it's a very
Mhm.
smart thing for her to do, regardless of whether or not I find you like painfully boring or not. You know, I still think it was a wise decision and she should absolutely do it because I'm sure she got an advance. I'm sure she got a couple 100,000 at the least. You know, like I'm sure they made it worth her while to do this.
Yeah. Well, with her making all these deals, I really hope that it doesn't hurt her in the end when the decree is signed and has a date stamped on it because, things you do in the marriage may be considered, venture. It may
Community
be a
property or
plus
whatever.
for the other person. I'm just saying, she said there was no prenup.
Right.
So I don't know all the ins and outs of divorce and when things can be separate but equal.
You know what? I don't know what they
You know?
consider. Yeah, I don't know the specific laws in the state of California about when you can separate income from marital assets. And also, too, if she can prove he's not contributing to the household at all, which is a big no-no in California, um, you know, he might not be able to have a shot at any of that anyway. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little confusing. But just hopefully she got all her ducks in a row with that because again, and that her management with him is severed appropriately because she did mention he was
Hmm.
her manager and she's looking for new management, which is why she's having lunch with these two ladies trying to get her a book deal, trying to suss them out and see if they're you know something that she can deal with long term for management's sake. So it's all sorts of things she needs to suss out in regards to legal when it comes to doing business as it relates to her pending divorce. Because, child, the last thing you want to do is give him any money,
I know, right?
period. But yeah, good big ups to Dorit. We hope that her memoir, I'll probably buy it. Probably. I like
Have
her.
you? I don't.
Mm,
Mm-mm. No, I really, you know, like I have always found her borderline annoying. Um, I really dislike the way she went after Garcelle, you know, for a storyline. I feel like does exaggerate and is a lot of things. So yeah. But I'm finding this whole like, I give zero F's. I'm gonna light a cigarette, you know, in my car. All of this, I just find it so annoying. So, have you bought any of the other Housewives books?
Girl, no.
Okay, so it's gonna be Dorit is the one you get, huh?
Might. I might. I haven't even read Bose's book. You know what? I've been reading so many doggone books. I said I can't read nothing else at this point.
True.
Maybe when I'm done with everything going on, then I'll pick up somebody. But for right now, girl, I can't put one more book into the repertoire. Just quite as cat lies it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree with you though. Regardless of how annoying I think she is, smart move, Dorit. You know, good for
Yes.
you. You enjoy that, and you know, absolutely.
Now we got Sutton meeting up with Kyle. It's funny how my notes, I voice text, it says certain meat, like certain types of carne.
That's funny.
Oh, I just noticed that. Let me change that real quick. So yeah, Sutton meets with Kyle for some skin rejuvenation is hot boxing, but not the true sense of hot boxing. They in a doggone sauna down to the Beverly Hills, trying to get their skin together, child. And girl, all the things people do, all the things they do. I ain't tripping about it. I'm just saying, at 137 degrees, really? That's so hot to be in there?
I don't know
Ooh.
about, yeah. Hey, all right.
Now they do have a sauna at the spot, but I can only get 15, 20 seconds. Girl, I had to get out of there. I said, I can't do it. Oh my God. Somebody gonna find me in here. I can't do it. I don't know how people, and this lady was in there just chilling. I'm like, what's going on? Is she anemic? What's going on? Because when you're anemic, you feel cold. That's why I said it. Girl,
Oh,
what's
I
going
don't, I mean, I wouldn't surprise me, but I think
on?
people be saunaing, doing the cold plunge and do the sauna. I think in Sweden or Norway, that's like a big old thing. You go out in the snow and then you go sit in the sauna. So I don't know.
They got that at the spa too. Have I done it? I
Right.
tried it once. I got into the hot. That's cool. Hey,
Right.
I don't mind a good soup bath. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
But I got my ankles in the cold part. I said, who is in this? What?
Yeah.
So I did the ankles and feet.
Uh-huh.
Girl, I wish I could put any more of my skin up in there. Oh my! I
Yeah.
think it said 37 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. 30.
Woo, yeah. Yeah, I in the summertime, when it's really hot, and after I walk the dog, I will get into the shower like on cold, and it's
Mhm.
definitely a shock to the system. But I'm that's nothing. That's not no 37 degrees. That's not like
Girl.
yeah. So yeah.
Oh well. What was I saying? Oh, Sutton and
Certain meats.
yeah, thank you, Sutton Beats. So they start talking, and that's when Kyle wanted to divulge everything Jennifer said about Sutton had no clue. She's been talking to Jennifer every day. Apparently, Jennifer put it away. She said, well, I'm not going to really address it. It is what it is. Or maybe she will, maybe she won't. Maybe that's what happened. But apparently, since then and to now, to this certain, scene, Kyle let Sutton know what Jennifer said. We heard it last week. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't hear, you heard us talk about it. Thank you for returning. Appreciate you. And Sutton was just, I can't believe that. Now, I know for a fact Sutton said this, whether it was in confessional or in front of Kyle, I don't really recall. But Sutton did say, I was confiding in Jennifer. I was really hurt by all of this. And I can't believe that she would say this knowing our conversation. Right there, I'm on Sutton's side just a little bit, because you don't do that knowing the conversations you've had with this woman. Now, of course, Sutton was wrong as two left shoes. She said she was. But to say that to somebody else about Garcelle, this is probably why Garcelle left. One of the reasons why Garcelle left, and Avi and whatever else happened. I just think that part was kind of foul, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's undeniable that it was kind of shocking the level Jennifer vented, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, or Tilly, as they seem to call her. I have noticed in her defense, she's a bit of a rambler, and like funnily so, right? Like we really enjoy her when she's just giving her funny little chatter. I also think that she was drunk. I think that she doesn't quite fully remember, because I think there might have been that involved in it too. But irregardless, it's regardless, it's not irregardless. Regardless, I had to correct my own self. There's two things, the other one I can't stand is I could care less. It's I couldn't. I could not. I could not. Because if you could, that means you care more than you are trying to say that you do. But anyway, I digress. Um, I do think what she said was mean. I was like, "Ooh, there's some stuff brewing under the surface, Jennifer, that like you need to get out." But I also
Apparently.
think, right? I also think that Sutton has been taking crap out on Jennifer, and like I think I would have snapped at her at the table if she had cut me off the way that I would have felt disrespected. I'm like, "Excuse me, I can speak." Like I just don't like the way Sutton's trying to control her contributing to the group now that she's on the show. It's like,
Mm,
you're not just friends now. You don't get to control. You are like literally cutting her off at the knees of contributing to a reality show where people share their opinions.
mm-hmm.
So like I felt for the situation, but like when I was watching it, like you, I thought, ooh, damn, when Sutton sees this, she's gonna have hurt feelings.
Yeah, Sutton did say Jennifer was being mean when she said said that, considering their private conversations about how Sutton was hurt, felt all of those things while she was, initially going through.
Yeah, I think Jennifer had every right to be upset. I respect that she needed to vent because she was kind of maybe like, because she'd already commented about Sutton
Hmm.
cutting her off and Sutton, the way that you treat her is rude. Like you shouldn't do that to your friend. You should
Right.
respect her enough to allow like she's not your like servant where you like like but um that was below the belt. That was below the belt with the Garcelle comment.
She is Reba's daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, she may get it honest. Just saying.
I would have liked Jennifer to stand behind her feelings a little bit more. I think she could have easily said, I'm so sorry I hurt you. I did say something below the belt that was really hurtful. Um, I also haven't been able to tell you my growing frustration with how I'm not feeling respected in these cases or whatever, like because
Yeah.
I think she really just had it with kind of how she was being treated. And so one doesn't undercut the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. We got Mary Dudo 444 in the chat. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for the comments. And yes, we are interactive. Now, Sutton is a horrible friend. She can be most times. I agree. Am I team Scamanda? No. Scamanda. And do I think Rena will come back since she is on Traders? I hope she comes back, but she was put on pause. So I hope she does. What about you? Do you see the comments?
I do. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for commenting. Um, I am not Team Scamanda except for one point of this because I don't like Dorit. So I'm really not team either one because they're both annoying in their own way. But I just feel like if someone says to you, "This is the anniversary of my child's passing, I don't have it today," you should have shut it up. Period. You just should have. And there's no excuse. Period. And it's unforgivable that you would be so self-absorbed to keep going. So there's the only place that I'm team Scamanda. Um and Rena, I would love to see back too, but I feel like she kind of like really is in her fashion thing, doing these other gigs. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she wants to come back yet. But I think I think she's having a fun resurgence.
Big ups to Rena. We miss you, girl.
What do you think about the way Kyle delivered the information?
Girls, just anything not to talk about herself. Because we didn't hear none of her tea this episode. Not now one.
Yeah.
Now, whether production chose not to show it, the point is we ain't heard not nothing. And she's still going through over there at that house. So, how about an update on you, Kyle? I don't think she should have divulged it. I think that she should have let Jennifer do it since Jennifer and Sutton are close and closer than Sutton and Kyle is. But maybe Kyle thinks because Jennifer said it mic'd up, then I can say it too. You know how how folks say. So I don't know, child.
Here's the problem when you do that. Like, I do understand you could be telling Sutton that you were shocked that she brought up the Garcelle comment because it was a pretty low blow. And being as
Mm-hmm.
good of friends as they are, I guess, Kyle was just expressing the shock. But it's also like, you're kind of violating the spirit in which, Jennifer was talking. And like, do you think she has any reason to be upset or what? I don't know. Like, I just thought Kyle did a real throw you under the bus kind of job
Right,
relating what she
right.
said.
And furthermore, in addition to that, had she followed it up or included, I really want y'all to talk because I don't want me delivering this information, weighs even more heavy as if, as if Jennifer, talking to you. But I would like to hear Kyle say something to the point of that. I really want y'all to talk because, it's obvious that you two need to
Yeah.
something, not just spill the tea like, well,
Right.
that's
Right.
what you said. So, nah, girl.
I agree with you. No, I totally do. Because yes, that was the opportunity Kyle had to be like, she's a really good friend to you. I think she was really upset by kind of being snapped at, whatever. Yeah. 100% agree.
Well, let's see what else happened, child. Oh, so we get some good news. Bozema goes in for her egg retrieval procedure, and there's hopeful. It's hopeful and everything. So her and Keely are down to the Las Vegas. You know what? If I'm not mistaken, I think there was a concert out there because I remember sometime last year she had on her IG that her and Keely were at a concert in Vegas, and they were, I mean, sexy damn child. I forgot who it was, but I want to say Maxwell something, and maybe that's probably what they also did as well. But or if it wasn't, they look sexy as H. I'm just saying, they looked really good last year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so her egg retrieval procedure went well. Um, her and Keely are just moving right along. Of course, we would like to. We're kind of used to first come love, then come marriage. Here come both with the baby carriage. There are some traditional things we're still happy go lucky about. However, as long as they saying I love you, because that was the big thing. Remember? Wait a minute, y'all talking about all this, that, the third, and everybody said they love you yet?
Yeah, that was a little too crazy for me. That's a little too unconventional. Like, you can't have a baby if you don't love each other. Get out of here. Well, I mean, you can, but and you all, yeah, no, that one was a little weird. On Watch What Happens Live, Keely said they have 2 wedding dates, one for here and one in Ghana. So they are moving forward with those plans. I think like October of this year, if I remember correctly, one of the ceremonies. So they are moving forward with the marriage, but baby carriage.
Right.
So
Um, so yeah, so now we're at the party. Now earlier I did not mention this, but Rachel mentioned that she's having a party and everything to Bose and how she's, gonna have a, cute little something. And then that's when Bose told her she's gonna be out of town. So we're at the party. And guess what, y'all? The doggone power outage in the whole block. And apparently her and Kathy live on the same block because Kathy's power was out too. So there you go. And remember when she first came on, it looked like she walked across the street to
yes.
go over. So maybe she probably walked across the street then. But anywho, Rachel's party is power outage child, and she was like, it wouldn't be a party unless a power outage. Apparently, there's a schlep rock going on around her house or around her.
And Kathy.
Maybe that's her nickname when she's having parties. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, and Kathy too. So she's living in the nice area code with no power.
Okay. Um. So yeah, so now she's scrambling, trying to, make it the way it should be, or just trying to circumvent all these issues. And what I did hear the chef say, even though the power's up, I can still get this stove working. I'm like, how you do that? I'm not a stove aficionado, but I would like to see him get that stove on with no power. Hmm.
Well, maybe it's you because it's a gas stove. You open the vent and the gas comes out because that's through the gas company, right? You open and then you use a match.
He did say a match, but I was like, oh, okay, well, Anywho, so the party went on. They had it outside. She said she had a zillion candles. She put them all to use. Thank God she had a zillion candles, because it would have been a little difficult. They probably would have had to. Go ahead.
No, I'm cutting you off. Go ahead.
I was going to say they probably had to use some of those. What are those lights that we use when we doing video?
Ring lights.
Ring lights, girl. Put on ring lights out on the table, child, so so we can see. But luckily, I hate eating outside. To be honest with you, I don't want to eat nothing outside. I don't want no bug, no nothing around my plate. I would not eat if I saw a bug anywhere, a fly, anything. I'm just not hungry. No. I probably wouldn't even drink nothing either. I just can't. Anyway, go ahead. What you gonna say, girl?
I actually got 2 Rachel Zoe blankets as Christmas gifts. I gave them. So I got them at Home Goods. They're very nice. So she does have like a line of like 40 different brands, like with her name on it. So she probably got a lot of Rachel Zoe candles.
Good for her.
Yeah.
So Erica and Sutton ride together. And Erica gets the earful. I'm glad to see they are in better spirits than a few years ago. Hello. So Sutton tells Erica that she's going to have a talk with Jennifer, because she told Erica what, Kyle said, Jennifer said, and Erica's eating this up. She's like, oh, shit. I can hear her saying this. Girl, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck, girl, you about to get you know how Erica is. She down to earth too. So, I can just hear what's going on in her brain, but she's just eating this up. She's smiling big. She's concerned, of course. But she can't wait for the festivities herself, because she wanna see the fireworks between them two. Luckily it ain't her, but I can see Erica enjoying this moment.
Yeah, I mean, because I think that it's nice. I think it's nice when they're getting along. I think both of them would like to get along and do enjoy each other in certain situations. I do think Erica does not appreciate the way Sutton went after her when she was going through her crap. Sutton was real bold asking questions, and I respected Sutton for it because I wanted to know the answer too. But I also think that and then remember when Erica told Sutton, I don't think you're really a good friend. You tear people down when they're in low moments. So I think Erica definitely finds this entertaining, because, she doesn't suffer Sutton at all. But what Jennifer Tilly said was a little wild, period. It was like, whoa, so it was enough that I think anybody's eyebrows would raise, given the kind of friendship and the longevity of friendship, 18 years that they have had, for her to vent, because that was like, dang, you went from 0 to 60 real quick.
Okay.
So
ladies are just, schmoozing along, and Dorit announces that her book deal. She's having she has a book deal, and you know who, Amanda, questioned whether or not she has a ghostwriter. And Dorit said, I have a co-writer, perhaps, yes. And then Amanda said, well, I wrote my own book. I think she mentioned that on the trip. I forgot how that came to be. Or maybe, I don't know. But she just kept going on about, well, I wrote it myself. I didn't need any help. Like, well, damn. Good for you. I think Erica said, well, good for you.
Yeah, no, I thought that was rude. That was another case of Amanda's really, really annoying one-upmanship. You didn't need to do that, like you didn't. And I don't know why you need to you don't need to you stop. It's really yucky. Like you obviously you primed the pump with Dorit, because you offended her about the way you responded. You know what I mean? Like if you are not a professional writer, and this is coming from someone that is, I have a long background in marketing communications. A lot of people get a ghostwriter, and trust me, to all of you reading, you'd much prefer that there's a professional at the wheel that is helping them than if they wrote it in their own words. Because just
Yes.
because someone can act or speak or whatever does not mean they can write, and doesn't mean that they know how to tell stories or share memories in an entertaining way for a book. So Amanda, you need to get out of here with trying to, and not only that, but like you're just diminishing some news that she'd like to share and bragging about yourself. I don't want to read your money book. Listen, I don't want to read Dorit's either, but I would read Dorit's memoirs before I'd read Rich as Fuck. I'll tell you that right now.
Lord have mercy. And then we see Sutton confronting Jennifer. She took her aside. It wasn't in front of everybody. And I'm glad that they had the good sense not to come over there, because I swear, if one more private conversation turns into a group situation like they do, especially on RHOP, these heifers just have no couth sometimes when it comes to grown women-ish. I'm just saying. Oh, that irks my jerk. But anyway, I'm glad that these rich heifers know how to have a conversation. And Jennifer, first of all, Sutton didn't apologize to Jennifer after Jennifer, or even before or after Jennifer apologized for for saying those things about Sutton. I wish that Jennifer would not have, what we call it, backpedaled and pussy pop. I wish she would have owned it and said exactly and owned exactly that, and not say, I don't recall everything, because I think you do know, Jennifer, if you listen, watching, listen, girl, I love you. But I think you do know exactly what you said. And because if you think it's something this, then you know it, you know what you said. It was just the other day. But I would have hoped that Sutton had apologized also, like she did in the confessional, or alluded to apologizing in the confessional, because again, that creates more of a trust and a loyalty amongst friends. So I think it kind of went south, but if they like it, I love it. Yeah.
Jennifer, you, hem, and haw, real kind of scattered. It really it was a lot of backpedaling and pussy popping for sure. Real kind of clumsy. I still stand by. I think that alcohol has played a part in either exactly what she remembers or like the heat, the spin, the caliente she put on it. I agree with you as well, that I wish that she had been able to say, I regret the things that I said, but I'm tired of the way I feel like you've been treating me lately, and we have a long friendship. Like, I feel like Jennifer needed to stand behind, as you said as well, by why she was upset. Because it's obvious some resentment has been building under the surface, because you wouldn't say things like that if you didn't feel some sort of way for a while, and that you'd been tolerating something that deep down you don't really want to tolerate. And it's up to you in this opportunity to say, I should not have spoken that way, but I need to say to you at this point, moving forward, I've been hurt by you in this way, and I'd like it to stop, or disrespected, or whatever. Because to me, it just looks disrespectful and dismissive. And I have a pet peeve about something like that. Like, no, you're not going to do that at a table where I have every right to speak too. Like, you're not going to do that. You can be emotional and not want me to talk, but that's not going to stop me. This is an ensemble cast, and we're on a reality show. We're not girlfriends in your living room.
Right. And there's ways that she didn't want her to be, don't hush me, first of all.
Yeah.
I don't know, Reba, don't hush me.
Yeah.
Maybe she would have held her arm and said, or just, touched her hand, or looked at her in a way maybe she could have caught a little context clue. But no, hushing somebody is something you just don't do at they grown ass age. Is all I'm trying to say. You know,
I
so
agree. Again, you're coming
I'm
in with the
not your
perfect way
child,
to put it. Yeah, it's
girl,
disrespectful to hush someone, and that is what she did.
girl.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jennifer Tilly has been a good enough friend to her. And how do you know that like she wasn't going to come into your rescue? How do you know that she wasn't going to say something that was going to be astute enough to shut some people up or whatever? Like you don't even know what she was going to say. Um and again, she's a member of this show. You don't get to control what she says now. She has to contribute as a part of the show because that's her job. So yeah, I think it was a missed opportunity. I do think it was sweet of Jennifer to say, "I love you, I adore you. I'm really sorry I hurt you. We have a long friendship or whatever." But like, girl, like this whole I don't remember, like, ooh, did it like Sutton did owe you an apology, and unfortunately, I think it does kind of go to what Jennifer has been complaining about is that Sutton is so self-centered. It's just how deeply she was hurt by Jennifer's comments. Instead of, you know what, I really maybe need to look at how much I'm emotionally taking out on my friend.
So we got 2 more points after the news about Bowles and Keeley. We're going to get into the nooks and cranny, child, that's been floating around these social media streets about this episode. So Bowles had given Rachel the permission to say, drum roll, that there were 2 successful egg retrievals and they're going to move to the next step. So good for them. That's what we know at this moment. We don't know nothing else. Or, like Aaron said earlier, there was some, ambiguity spoken when she was on, you said, Watch What Happens Live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So who knows? Like I said earlier, it's not a no. So that's what I'm going with right now. I hope for the best. And yeah, big ups for them. So her and what's her name? Quad on Married to Medicine going through.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else doing the egg?
Not that I know
Oh,
of.
Shamia.
What?
Her and Shamia Roa.
Oh, yeah,
Her
yeah,
and her
yeah.
man trying to have a baby. So it's 2 housewives and a Married to Medicine. So kind of, hey,
Mm-hmm.
3 Bravo celebrities trying to get, and guess that they all black. Ain't that nice? Anyway, big ups to them and anybody else that I don't remember. Big ups to all y'all with y'all fertility and baby making processes. We hope that you have a lot of them because I'm not having no more. Are you?
No. But yeah, my heart goes out to all of you on your fertility journey. I don't think there's a more emotional or a tender journey than trying to have a child and how much deep emotion is tied to a desire like that. So, prayers for all of you too.
In the words of Lanithia, the factory door is closed.
Yeah. At 47, I'm not trying to retrieve nothing except my sanity back from my hormones starting to deplete. Yeah, no, we are and you know what also too, like my daughter is 12. I just can't imagine starting all over again, But if I had their money, I guess if I really had the desire for a baby, I might, if I had their means and their situations, I might be thinking about it. I don't know.
Girl.
But yeah,
Well,
the door is closed.
Yeah, girl, lock, key gone, all that. So the whole buzz going around is the what is that? I was thinking of that word. Let me see because I have my Google up. Real quick. Yeah, with this discontent between Dorit and Amanda. Was there some tea you wanted to talk about or something about this?
Bose had a reaction to what we're about to talk about. So I can share that after we discuss kind of what
Okay.
kicked it off.
Okay. So y'all, if you wasn't there, if you didn't watch it, child, we about to tell you what went down. Okay. Okay, so earlier in the season, Kyle and Amanda had some conversation about Dorit, and I believe we talked about this where Kyle was bothered by how Dorit was, bad mouthing or telling her truth or telling the truth about her soon to be ex husband and his parenting skills, styles, and whatnot, and his lack of financial continuity that is shocking to her.
She
So Amanda,
also
mm-hmm,
she brought up the one thing, because I do, this is like the one point that I kind of agree with, is that she also said that PK was very upset about the way that she called him a raging alcoholic or characterized his drinking journey.
mm-hmm, yes. Of course, I think we all had the same reaction, like, oh, she's really telling it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But deep down, even then, when we were shocked, we was like, oh, that's a lot. It is a lot, regardless of which side you're on,
Mm-hmm.
And so when Kyle and Amanda were talking, Amanda had some points to make as well. And it got back to Sutton. I don't recall Amanda and Sutton discussing this or even in conversation, but Sutton told this to Dorit.
I do remember Amanda brought it up at Kathy Hilton's dinner when she was putting beef pollen
Yes,
on everything.
yes. Thank you
That's
for that.
how, because Sutton was looking at her like, ooh, you saying a lot of stuff at this dinner. And I don't disagree, but so yeah, that's where she heard it.
Thank you. And so there it is. So Sutton told Dorit, I hope this don't have a negative effect on Dorit. Kyle not telling Dorit, because you know how Dorit could be. Well, you didn't tell me. Anyway, we just stick to the story we got. I ain't trying to judge up nothing. But anyway, so Sutton tells Dorit, and Dorit found it within her self to confront. And again, confrontation doesn't always mean yelling. It's just when someone wants to, question the sincerity or just question someone commenting on something that means something to that person. Does that sound about?
Yes, I think that confronting her is an accurate statement as well.
Okay.
To what she was doing, because she wasn't yelling at first, and until she found out that news, I just want to be clear, I actually can't blame her for confronting Amanda, because
Yeah.
Amanda opened up with insulting her about the book deal. So like I said, she kind of primed the pump, and then now she's finding out that on, multiple people are getting back, she's finding out she's being spoken about in a way she doesn't appreciate, and it's contradictory to that lunch they had, right? Where with Bose, and so I get why I get it. I get why Dorit is ready to speak to her. I do.
Right. And referencing that lunch that Dorit, Amanda, and Bose had, Amanda didn't feel as though, or didn't even mention her discontent or her how she didn't agree with how Dorit was delivering certain details about her relationship with her soon-to-be ex-husband. So, because Dorit kind of, pushed mentioned that as well. Even we had a conversation and nothing was said about it. It was more or less it was just more of a supportive conversation. But I think that may also came from Bowles as well, because Bowles had Amanda come to that conversation to help Dorit with the financials. And that girl, we already went through that. That was
yeah, no, that was not. Yeah. Well, and I kind of felt like too that Amanda kind of figured out that she felt that way after having lunch with Dorit and hearing more, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was maybe a little early on in everybody getting acclimated to the situation and one another, because like I said, Bose thought that Amanda would actually have some helpful advice to give Dorit, and was all like, what kind of money crap do you got going on? So I just think it was maybe early on, which is why she was supportive. And that's kind of a weak argument from Dorit, but I can get why she's all like, as far as I knew, you were praying for me at lunch, and now you're like telling Kathy and everybody else that you're worried about me and you don't even know me.
So with all that, Dorit wanted to get some answers out of Amanda, and how Dorit led into it. Now this part is something that bothered me that Dorit said specifically when Dorit led into the burning question, of how can you have so much, how can you say what you said, given that you've only known me for half a second, and agree to what Kyle said, who's known me for years. I don't know.
Right.
I didn't appreciate that coming from Dorit, given that just because she's known you for half a second doesn't mean that she cannot agree with someone who's known you for longer than half a second. Perhaps she felt more inclined to agree since Kyle's known you for such a long time, because who would know you more? Who would have more of a right thing to say if that's what she was already thinking, hearing the conversation about you not knowing what's going on in your marriage, given your name was on everything. That right there, her eyes got big and eyebrows got up hearing that. So, with that on top of everything else she's heard, why wouldn't she agree? Given the fact that you don't know nothing what's going on financially in your marriage, but you're bad mouthing this man about this, that, and the third. So maybe, she should concentrate more on the financial aspect than bad mouthing her husband, in my opinion. But I just don't think that was a good lead into, if I don't know. What do you think about that?
I agree with you. It was a weird way to come at it. It felt like she was trying to like go after Kyle through Amanda, like, and try to like maybe double down on the situation. But for me, I would have countered to Dorit like, no, that's the only impression I have of you, Heifer. Like, I've come into this group and all you've done is talk about your son in Florida and the parents, and we have that situation. And then like every time I'm around you and I don't even know you that well, you're like bashing your ex. You're talking about things, and then now I have Kyle telling me that she's really concerned because there are some things that PK doesn't like, and I don't agree with her that she has his consent to talk about his drinking that way. I do think that Dorit, it always bothered me to the level that Dorit was trying to come at Garcelle for like, you're always attacking me or you're doing this. You know what I mean? Like, well, no, Dorit, you put 20 on 10 and you talk even longer than I do. So people get annoyed with you because you over exaggerate and, you have a tendency to, I have a hard time taking everything you say without a grain of salt or a salt of grain because of that propensity that she has. So I don't think it's unreasonable for Amanda to have formed that kind of impression from you thus far, because if that's all you're talking about, then that makes you look even more like you're bashing him all the time.
So after Dorit asked that, Amanda was just trying to answer that, she was trying to get Kyle to, or was it Sutton? I forgot who Amanda
Kyle.
was.
She was trying to get Kyle, who was no lifeline.
Yeah, so she was trying to get Kyle to confirm exactly when that conversation was. And then Dorit was like, well, regardless of when it happened, do you agree? Like, where do you stand at this point now that I'm, confronting you, and then that's when Amanda mentioned that, she's not in a headspace today because this is the anniversary of her son's death. And everybody's like, what the fuck? I mean, everybody. was like, what? Not everybody had, said anything, but don't ask Kathy gonna say, is that your dog?
Oh,
Like,
Kathy's
is that your dog? She looked at her like, and then there was a cliffhanger before the commercial. So we all waiting 2-3 minutes. Like, what the fuck Kathy talking about? Girl. First of all, they should have cut that out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Kathy, you have a grandson named
sensitive.
Phoenix. Why can't the name Zion be a child? You have a grandson named Phoenix and a granddaughter named London. And Zion, you thought dog? Yeah. Yeah.
Kathy.
Kathy.
So Amanda looked at her like, that was my son. You can tell she was like, bitch, that was my son. She probably would have, but it's Kathy Hilton. She, that's career suicide. Excuse me. So, the fact that, so that was when Amanda made it known in the conversation. She's not, trying to, move on in this it should have been a hard stop for that conversation to move forward. However, Dorit kept going, questioning, and then Amanda joined in the conversation. I wish she would not have. I wish Amanda would have been a lot more stern and not continuing, not engaging. I think it kind of maybe confused. I think it did confuse Dorit a little bit at that moment before it got worse. But after maybe a sentence or two, that was when Amanda made it known that she wasn't going to continue. She said, I just said. And then that's when she thanked Rachel for a lovely evening and got up and left.
Dorit, the second she said to you, I don't have it today, you should have shut up. Then when you said, the way that Dorit said, I respect that you may want to talk about this at another time, but I'm curious, and didn't even take a breath. Didn't even take a fucking, and had the nerve to acknowledge what she said, but yet, I know I need to have this confrontation, this moment. I want to have this scene. I want to talk about this. That's how self-absorbed Dorit is. And honestly, I wish someone at the table would have stepped in and said, Dorit, shut up. She gets a pass today. Today, we should come together as women, as mothers, and offer some comfort on a day where she's trying to show up, trying to engage, and it's obviously rough. And she's saying she doesn't have it. Plan it another day. Go have a scene where you can confront her. But you needed to have your moment. You were like a locomotive. You couldn't stop yourself. I do agree with you. The fact that she engaged a little bit, that was maybe where Dorit was like, I didn't want to let this bone go anyway, and I'll keep going. But it was gross. It was such a bad look because it's like, have compassion. This woman just said something to you. It makes what you need to talk to her about stupid right now. Like, just right now, just for today, you need to stop. You need to stop. And she didn't. And it's gross. I wish one of the ladies had said to Dorit, you need to stop. She's asked you. Because I feel like there's absolutely no reason that the table needed to be silenced by Dorit needing to keep talking about this.
Kathy should have stepped in since she, like she did when she got Erica together back in 22 or 21, when Erica face was just snarling at people and going off on Sutton, who was sitting next to her, just about to rip Sutton ears off. And Kathy reeled her, she got loud. She got Erica's attention. Now, instead of worrying about a doggone dead dog, that's when Kathy should have piped up and said, hold on.
Yes, I agree.
Or better yet, how about the hostess? This is your house.
Rachel, anyone. Honestly, Dorit needed to be clocked. It was painful. It was awkward and yucky. And then to have her leave and nobody's trying to comfort or support this woman, it's gross. Y'all are weirdos. Like, I don't even like her. But there's no way that I wouldn't say, "Can I give you a hug?" Like, as a mother to a mother. Like, and the fact that she even had to say to Dorit, "I just told you my son died and you can't stop. You're so gross." Like, and then Dorit's still gonna when and then I think Kathy got it together. I think Kathy was really embarrassed at first because you remember, did you hear the way she goes, "What?" Like, she was shocked to hear, "Ooh, I
Yeah,
messed
I
up."
think, yeah, that was
So
her voice. Yeah.
yeah, so she reanimated, right? And Kathy was trying to, that's why she went over to Dorit after and was like, when she was leaving, "Can you go be the bigger person? Like, you really don't have a leg to stand. Like, you're gonna look like such a dill hole." Um, Kyle needed to come in. Kyle, you totally wuss pussed out. You don't, I don't exactly remember. No, 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 girl. You're leading this charge with the PK thing. You are. And I've defended you, but you needed to step in, especially given the situation. You all acted like a bunch of dumbasses, and somebody needed to clap their hand over Dorit's self-centered mouth. It was unforgivable. It was gross. You look like an a-hole. I want to see how you possibly try to get out of this at the reunion. I'm not saying you don't have a right to be annoyed with Amanda, but the fact that after what she said to you and you still kept going and you can't even see it just shows your head so far up your butt. No,
Now
no.
at the door, there was a little comfort. They were like, "Oh, let's go, walk her out."
Right.
We would have liked to seen some hug, a lot
Yeah,
more affection.
absolutely.
However, I think they're playing off of how Amanda is. That they don't want to do too much. They just, at least helping her to the door. If that's some, if that's helping to console, she's not
Right.
by herself, right? So then that's when Kathy got, like you said, she got
Yeah.
Dorit together. You be the bigger person, and
Yeah.
you go and offer whatever you need to, just make it more right, whatever. And that's what Dorit did. She came over, apologized again. But the one thing she said was, "You didn't say anything." No,
Yeah.
Dorit,
Yeah. No.
no, no, leave that part out. If
Gross.
she would have left that out, the scene at the door would have been a lot better. But Dorit said, no, in the midst of, "I'm sorry, you didn't say anything. I didn't know. I'm really apologetic." She's a very apologetic. And she went to wipe the tears, and the man said, "Please don't touch me." Fully understandable. Don't put your
Mm-hmm.
paws on me, baby. Hey, hey, don't touch me. Don't touch my skin.
Mm-hmm.
Especially my face. We ain't cool like that. No, no. But Amanda said, "I wish you would have just stopped. Just I didn't, why you kept going." So I wish Amanda would have not started again. You know, because it's just reigniting the anger and fueling it. I just wish she would just kept going out the door. I don't want Amanda to feel like she has to confront Dorit about it, especially now. Now was not a good time, but I do understand her. She's like she said, she's in a funky headspace. She's just trying to emote. She's trying to get out her feelings. But I think both of them made some missteps. Of course, Dorit was 99% out of all of that. Amanda had just a teach, but not to blame Amanda. I just wish she would have found it in herself to just be more assertive with Dorit to protect her peace. Because that right there is just something so devastating. I don't know if I could have been as calm.
Right. And that's where I said I have a little bit of respect for Amanda. She was able to kind of stay composed in a way that I don't think I would have. Dorit, I think, would have gotten hit, punched in the face. I didn't find her the way she came up, I found it a little disingenuous. And I can't blame Amanda for saying, "Don't touch me." You can't go from, "I can't stop myself of confronting you, even though you just told me that your child, his anniversary of his passing is today. I can't stop myself from confronting you because that's how pissed I am at you or whatever. That's how much I want to talk about what you did to me." So I feel like Dorit does not have reasonable, and Erica said this in the confessional, and Dorit said it. Both of you need to be slapped in the mouth. It doesn't matter if you knew or not. She told you. And when she told you, that's when you shut up. That's when you just lay the sword down and say, I'm so sorry about that today. Please let me know when you have the emotional bandwidth to continue this conversation because we need to. And leave it at that. And leave it at that. And leave it the F alone. And then you can stew in your madness, or you can go chew on Kyle for talking crap about you too.
You
You
know
need to
that's
have
coming
a
next.
moment.
You
Yeah.
know
So
it's coming.
and it's fine because Kyle has the emotional bandwidth for you today. You know, she's a slippery little mouse, but you can go yell at her, you know, like you just should never, you just look like a giant douchebag because you couldn't just leave it alone. And I can't blame Amanda for being like, I can't even believe that we had to keep going after I said that to you. You suck. Yeah, Dorit, you do. However, Amanda, when you recollected on another day, you did insult her book. You did do that or whatever. Like you're kind of a dick sometimes too. So, I just thought, Dorit, you're a piece of crap for that one. The way that she said, we can talk about this another time, but I'm just curious. No, bitch, that's where you deserve to be punched in the mouth. But here we are, you know. I'm not saying she didn't say some crap to you. You just showed how much of a narcissist you are by not being able to help yourself.
Well, that's
it was
all
bad.
I can say, yeah. If whatever else you want to say.
Oh no, I'm just, listen. This is not a cute look. I'm very curious about how you're gonna try to spin this one, baby. But Bose. So they asked her,
Yes,
girl,
those
this
on
your
Watch What Happens
friend.
Live. Oh
This
no,
your friend.
it was something else. It wasn't Watch. It was something else.
It was Watch What Happens Live. It was Watch
Oh,
What
okay.
Happens
I'm
Live.
sorry. Okay,
Bose
my mouth
said,
is filled.
no, you're good. Bose said that, well, it's a really complicated situation, isn't it? And I can really relate. I had an early pregnancy. I lost a child right after birth, and I had an early preterm delivery with her daughter. So she's had both situations, and so she said she really felt for Amanda, and that was it. Didn't say nothing about my girl shouldn't have said that crap. Oh, really? Hey, DM Rocks. I did not hear that. Well,
Yeah, I saw a little bit about that.
that's an interesting plot twist. That's something to it. That's interesting. That might be where some of this weird level of braggadocious confidence comes from. But Bose didn't address Dorit's behavior at all. She just empathized with the depth of Amanda's situation, which I thought was evasive. Because yeah. But anyway, that was that. No, it's like whatever. Dorit, you just sucked. I'm just
yeah,
yeah.
It all started with Dorit, and then just just melted from there. Not even snowball. It melted from there, and again, 99% of that was on Dorit. I just wish both of them could have held their own. It's sad. It really is sad. And of course, I'm not blaming Amanda. Please don't even think that. I don't think you are. I would not have engaged. But again, she's in a funky headspace, and I've never had that go on. So I'm definitely not in her shoes and by no means. And bless both of them, bless her heart. And I was disappointed in Dorit. I wish she would have handled that a lot better. Again, when you're at the table, it should have stopped there. Period, point blank, and it just melted from there, child.
Yeah. Save it for another day. You got some valid points to read, for God's sake. The Lord knows those are hard for you to come by.
Well, I don't think she do, to be honest, because like when I said about her leading, I'm like, that don't even sound like you should be saying that. No.
Fair. Yeah. You're right. Hey, but yeah, so
you barking up the wrong tree. Yo, like you said, you really need to be talking Kyle, who didn't come tell you. Sutton had to come tell you.
Yep.
That's the next argument.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it is. Well,
child.
yeah, because you know it's coming. Well, and it was just awkward, because I think, Erica and Rachel even met afterwards when they were just like, ugh, that just derailed that party. Like it truly did.
Okay.
Truly did.
Like, girl. Well, yeah, that was it for this episode. Before we go, we want to let you know that our next show will be tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Drag Race Season 18, Episode 4. It's in Shady Times. Let there be light.
Yes.
So come back tomorrow afternoon after you did all your Sunday festivities, most times by 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. A lot of that stuff will be done with, your Sabbaths and whatever y'all do. We hope that you come back to hear what we got to say, and we'll have a lot of things to watch and see. Now, I haven't seen the episode yet, so I don't know exactly what to say about it other than it's like a variety show. If you've never heard it or seen it before, talented. Oh my goodness. Don't let the drag race part get in the way. Drag race and drag or not, these heifers know how to put on a show. Just saying. But yeah, girl. You want to let them know where you are when you're not talking ish with me?
You can catch me on Facebook, Psychic Aaron Boyd, or Instagram and Thread, Psychic_ELB. Hit me up in the DMs if you'd like to get a reading, or just please follow me on Instagram and I'll follow back.
Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also, there's a hype button somewhere around the comment section, either the live comments or the replay comments. Go ahead, hype me up. I appreciate it. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.